First of all, everything's going to be fine. You're going to make it out okay. I feel like right now, for some reason, there's like a lot of stress about money and savings and investing. And I feel like people just don't realize, like, sometimes how good they're doing. So I kind of want to help make that more clear for some of you. Now, if you're watching this, I'm assuming you're under 35. It looks like that's where most of my audience is right now. And just to break down some numbers, if you're under 35, the median income for someone, not income, now the average is 20,500, but those numbers are skewed because there are some people with like extravagant amounts of money. So if you got more than 3,800, you're sitting above the median. If you're under 35, as we get up in age, that number rises a little bit. Another one, the median American household right now has $8,000 saved across all their checking, savings, and money market accounts. That's not including like 401ks and retirement accounts, but $8,000 saved. So if you got somewhere higher than, if you got more than $4,000, you're pretty much above the median. I feel like right now, for some reason, there's just a huge worry about money right now. I think everyone's just crunching their pennies. I think part of it's like we're seeing prices rise faster than we ever have before. Part of that is the Cantillon effect, inflation. I mean, we're seeing gas prices go up way higher than ever. A lot of that probably is just greed on part of the oil companies. But I'm here to let you know everything's going to be fine. You're going to be okay. Think about it. Your ancestors went through wars, famines, way worse stuff than we're experiencing right now. I mean, the Great Depression in the 20s, most of our grandparents were in. And I remember my grandma growing up, she used to tell me that she would wash out the grocery store bags and reuse them. She would wash paper towels. I'm talking like paper towels would be reused. Everything was like pinching the most pennies. All the vegetable scraps would be saved. All the bones would be saved. You make a soup. There was no food being thrown out. And I don't think we're quite there yet. I'm not saying it's a good thing to be in a recession or in a Great Depression in that sense, but I think there's a lot of like over worry about money, and people are hyper focused on money when in reality it's not terrible. I understand inflation is hit. I understand the dollar doesn't go as far as it used to, but just breathe. We're going to be okay. If you're under 35 and you're watching this, I'm assuming you're interested in investing. That's kind of what my channel is about. If you're already investing and you're under 35, you're miles ahead of most people. So let that weight off your shoulders. I'm not saying stop investing. I think dollar cost averaging into ETFs, like a low cost ETF, and just dollar cost averaging or something like VOO is like a great idea, especially if you're in your 20s or even early 30s. I mean, I think this kind of stuff can set you up really well later in life. But don't make it your whole life goal to just collect more dollars, especially when dollars are just essentially numbers on a screen at this point. Like, most of the currency isn't even printed anymore. Most of the currency nowadays is digital. It's not healthy to just have this much of a worry about money. Like, go outside, touch grass, get some sunlight, read a book, for Christ's sake. Like, it's going to be okay. Everything's going to be fine. And another thing is, like, I feel like so many people are like just hyper focused on like trying to change their situation and letting life stress them out way more than they should. I'm not saying you shouldn't have a plan. I'm not saying it's not good to try to be spend your money smart, or invest smart or whatever. But don't let it stress you out to the point you're getting like health issues about it, or you're not sleeping well at night. Like, we're going to be okay. Americans alone, every other country, same thing. There's been worse times than there are now. I understand that the dollar is not going as far. I understand that there's stuff is getting more expensive than it's ever been. But this is definitely not the worst time in history. I mean, I was just in a bigger city like a month ago, and they got freaking robots driving people's food to their door now. They got like these DoorDash robots or whatever they call them. They got Waymos, which are like it's like a taxi now, but it's all a robot. Like, it's really not that bad. Yeah, we got the dollar's not going as far, but also life has become so much easier. Like, I'm reaching people from my bedroom, talking into a microphone, sitting in front of my computer. This is pretty much the best time that we could be living in. I mean, if you think about it, like 200 years ago, a king couldn't even do what an average person could do in means of like getting food delivered to them. Like DoorDash would have been like that whole concept of just having someone bring you a hot, warm meal. That would have been exclusive for a king. And even a king would have had to like open his mouth and like tell someone what he wanted. Like, I could literally just sit here and push some buttons on my phone and have someone show up on a bike or in a car to my house with like hot Chinese food or whatever I wanted. Like, it's really not that bad. We're probably living in some of the best times ever. And I think that's something that people forget. Even me, myself, I was like griping in one of my videos about like the gaming isn't where it used to be, and entertainment, things like the UFC, just not where it used to be. But really, we got it pretty good. Like, I think if anything, the biggest thing now is like there's too much good choices available. Like, there's too many games to play. There's too many good restaurants to eat at. We have too much abundance. Like, and I'm not saying I recognize what's going on with the dollar, and the dollar doesn't have the power that it used to have. But a lot of other things have changed. And I feel like if you can figure that out, that the dollar isn't where it's used to have, the thing that makes sense, the logical thing is to, okay, so if the dollar isn't holding its value, I need to own more hard assets. And then you start thinking like, okay, how can I get more hard assets? Well, the first thing would be if I could boost my income. What do I need to do to boost my income? Maybe I need to hop my job. Maybe I need to go ask for a promotion. But worrying about it is not going to get you anywhere. What you need is action. And the best way to get action is to me, is to make a plan. Like, even if I'm kind of old school. I like pen and paper. To me, that's like way better than typing something out on a screen. I like doodling on pen and paper. That's always been the best way for me to like write my thoughts out, write a plan, figure out what I need to do. One thing I do a lot with pen and paper, I'll make a list of like what needs to get done, and then I prioritize them like 1 through 10 or whatever. And if you can do something like that and figure out, all right, here's where I'm at with my finances, here's where I want to be, how am I going to get there? And one thing I recommend doing is, if you're like worried about finances and trying to figure out how to get where you're going to get, you want to do what's called like deductive reasoning. You want to start at your end goal and then work your way backwards. Like, let's say hypothetically, I want to have $10 million by the time I'm 65. So I would go in and I'd put in how much money I have now, my age, and then I'd put in some numbers on an investment calculator. There's a investmentcalculator.net is one I recommend. But you can put in how much money you'd have to save each year and then see where the numbers end up when you're like, let's say 65, and then kind of reverse engineer it. And then I can find out, well, how much money would I need to save exactly? What rate of return am I looking at? Like, let's just say 10% rate of return. How many years? You can figure out down to the exact dollar how much you need to save every month to hit whatever your goal is, in 10 million, whatever it could be. These tools were not something people had like 15 years ago, and it's just getting even easier. Like, AI is crazy now. It's actually getting really useful. I feel like it used to kind of be like just a Google search, like a hyped up Google search. But now you can make like thumbnails, you can make videos. Some of the AI videos are actually getting pretty good. Like, I've seen some of the news ones that's like, they look pretty realistic. I mean, it's going to be hard to tell in a few years, I think. But the thing I've noticed the most is like there's so much angst and worry about money nowadays. And like, did we forget where we came from? Like, our ancestors fought through wars. They went through famines, world hunger, ambushes, like all kinds of hard stuff has happened to our ancestors. It's like literally in our blood. And then we're over here living in these comfortable homes. We can DoorDash food to our house, have a hot meal delivered to us, and we're complaining about essentially numbers. Like, money really is just numbers on a screen at this point. Most of the dollars are not even printed anymore. And just don't let it ruin your life. Like, I understand you need money to live. I understand you need currency to get things done, to get your rent paid. I get it. I'm with you on that. And I get that the dollar is not going as far as it used to. But on that same note, you can't just gripe on that. You can't just live in that turmoil of like, oh, the dollar's crashing, the dollar's not as good as it used to be. You have to make a plan. You got to have some sort of action. So my point is, the logical thing to me would be like, okay, I need more dollars if the dollar isn't getting me as far as it used to. And I want to turn those excess dollars into something that's going to generate me more wealth. What would that be? Hard assets, stocks, cryptocurrency, gold and silver, just some sort of asset that gains more value over time. And I wouldn't put them in something super risky. I'm not saying to go buy Pokemon cards or meme coins, but the idea of just holding your money in an ETF, holding some of that money in an ETF, letting it grow, letting it compound, letting time work on your side, especially while you're young, if you're under 35, like, that doesn't seem like a bad plan to me. But don't let it stress you out and worry you to the point where, like, I don't know, it seems like people our age, like in around 20s and 30s, are like aging faster than ever before. I feel like there's such a worry about money right now. And I get it. If you're living paycheck to paycheck, it's rough doing that. But what you got to do is find a new job at that point. If you're living paycheck to paycheck, you should be searching for a new job. You should be asking for a raise. You should be finding some way to boost your income. And the more you just settle in that paycheck to paycheck mindset and gripe in that like turmoil, it's not going to get better. So you need to do some sort of action. But anyways, saying all that to say this, if you made it this far, you're enough. It's going to be okay. You're going to make it. And there's like this saying, like, I think it's in Latin, but it's like pretty much just to love your fate. Like whatever happens to you, accept it, love it, and move on with it. It's amor fati, and I'll leave you on that.